I'm gonna go into Andy. I play Andy as a main, so I have a bit of a better understanding of the character. I think I'm gonna start to Yuri today, and this will be in parts because otherwise it gets really, really long and fairly annoying to follow all of it. Andrew Bogard, yes. So Andy, what does Andy do? If you remember when we were talking about Mature, the same idea kinda applies to Andy. A lot of his normals are fairly slow. I love this fucking animation. It's like, I don't know, just looks at people. I don't know. That's fantastic. But yeah, generally, a lot of his stuff is fairly slow. Look at this. This is like, I think 26 frames. I'm not joking. Or maybe even more. Right? So a lot of his stuff is fairly slow. Even this one, for a crouch D, is fairly slow. Far C. So let me remove the shit that I know of. But, no, not the show inputs. But his movement is pretty fast. So he can anticipate a lot of, not anticipate, but make time for a lot of his stuff that takes a while to come out. So Andy plays like kind of a predictive game once again, like Mature, but differently from Mature, he has better ways to open people up once he actually has the read. So for example, his jump B is amazing because look at the hitbox, right? So there's very, very extended, and once they hit at any height, he can then play the low opener into something, right? Right? Or he can play the empty jump into proximity grab. Or he can play the I'm going to anticipate your button because you want to press a button to stop me from going low if I'm not meaty enough. And he can do stuff like that over onto the air and punish the opponent. Or just put this CD out for frame advantage. Because like jump CD and jump D are really, really good in this game. In other games they weren't great. Trying to think. So like jump B, extremely important. That means that most of his critical range will be starting from his jumps. His ground normals are shite. Really, really ground options are really, really bad. So generally, this is the range that you're expecting them to start any kind of movement, mostly from, because jump B is probably the best thing that he has in his tools. So to get jump B out to fully extend, you probably, right? You're jumping at this range and you're pressing the button almost there, a little bit slower. If you're expecting them to get in the air, you press it here. If you're expecting them to just stay and you want to like max range poke, you press it here, right? So what happens is that once you start hitting them enough with this and then play your 50-50, or just, wait for them to miss their DP because you bait them and then go into town, right? They will start respecting this range a little bit more. And then it's your way to just kind of sneak in. Oh my god, I'm bad. Right? And do things like that. Open them up low. So, against Andy, if you're keeping this range, you don't want to be jumping much into him or going into the air much at that particular range. Because if you do and he comes down with up with the jump B, then you get it reset in the air and you gotta guess. But if you play reactively on him, his jumping B, the fact that he extends so much and is fairly slow, means you can easily anti-air it on reaction, or go like wait for him to come down and just trip him because the move is angled upwards, right? So you can expect a lot of this from Andy. If you remove this from Andy, he will start playing defensively because slow, slow, super slow, no range, right? No range. He shifted backwards. It's like look. It takes like really, you have to be really close to hit with this. And this is like, no, don't ever do this. Because like they will block, guard cancel forward and ruin you. Or go back, super jump and ruin you. So the only thing that Andy can do when he's not playing reactively and you're just kind of guarding this range is really just use the Zanaken to kind of get in, and kind of surprise you. Right, but even that is not really the greatest, because if you're not good with the execution, if don't space yourself right like that, because of his tools aren't the greatest, you will whiff. So Andy that is playing there will probably use this to close the range if you're guarding that jumping B. And there's two versions of Zanaken. The light, which has shit range, and the heavy, which has tons of range, but is really hard to space because it's only like not even safe. It's not even safe anywhere, right? But it's only, say they're walking back, maybe kind of makes it safe. This is -10, if I remember right. This is also no, this is like a bit better, but -8 or some shit. If you do the follow-up, because you're expecting them to be hit, come on. There, without the super, that's -26 or some shit. That means that they can literally see that they're blocked, run in and punish you with stuff, right? So as an Andy player, you want to guard this range. Don't go against an Andy player, don't go into the air too much, because jumping B will put you into the reset position, and don't jump on him once you see that they started to wait, because this is great. This is great. This is hard to do as a reaction, but does a lot of damage if you hit it. Level 2 will ruin you. Like, if you, for whatever reason, jump here and get hit by this, like, oof, damage. Another thing that a lot of Andys will do, if the jump B is being guarded, is go over the range and start mixing you up with this, right? This is a low, this is a overhead option, and they both autocorrect. So if I do it here and do the follow-up, right? Low, overhead. Right? It comes back. And it comes back. So that's kind of like weird. It's not the greatest tool, but it can be weird to deal with. Another thing that he has is forward B, but look how slow it is. So it's only like really good on wake up situation. And it has a OTG after it. It has OTG after a lot of stuff. Generally, so against the Andy, you want to guard this range for the jumping B. So if they do jump B, you can DP them, or you stand CD them without the characters, not with him, because the stand CD is terrible. Or trip them. You can expect this, right? So if they come down with this, this range is not threatening, right? If you're up here, you will punish them. Whether they go for the low or for the high, most likely you're gonna come down from here. So expect that. Oh, and another thing that the Andy will do, if they have forced you here, you wanna press buttons unless they show you that they can frame trap you. Because if they don't show you that you can frame trap them, if they don't show you that they can frame trap you, they will be abusing this. So if you press the button, you will beat that because it's quite slow. So make sure that the Andy can frame trap you with stuff like, block. Well, that also like can go, because like it combos from buttons. But I don't know, stuff like, right? That would be the frame trap if you press after the crouching B because you don't want to be grabbed by that.